You might be at the point in your life where you are fed up with tolerating all the junk, all the clutter, all the chaos, the overstimulated posts, the buy this, buy that, you need this, you must have that, run, go get this, take this supplement, take this drink, do this. Like, it's so overwhelming. And if you are at that point, then this video is for you, because excuse me, I'm at that point. I've been at that point multiple times, because it's like you flow in and out of stages almost. But if you're at that point and you're like, okay, I'm ready to just really simplify my life, and it's not just about you, obviously it's for your family, it's for those around you, because there has to be one leader in the group. Like, there has to be somebody saying enough is enough. There has to be somebody pulling the reins in that area anyways, and someone that stops tolerating the habits of the past. You have to decide what's working and what's not, and you have to decide what's important and be willing to let go of the rest. Be willing to let go of what's not important. Put things in two separate categories. This is for every area of your life. And if you're not sure, look at the results and then work your way backwards. For example, is this type of eating giving me the body I want? Is this news consumption giving me the thoughts that I want? Is this relationship flourishing? Is this, is it sharpening me? Am I sharpening that person? Is this store, going to Home Goods every day to see what they have, giving me the house I want? Like, how many trips do you have to make to Home Goods to be satisfied? Because there's always going to be something. There's always going to be something new. There's always going to be something different. There's always going to be, oh, this is cute. You're going to find something. So how much money do you need to blow on lead-filled junk to bring into your home to then feel satisfied for your home? Like, you have to make these decisions. Otherwise, you're going to keep doing the same thing, going around the same mountain, the same thing over and over. You're not going to make any progress. And if you do, it's going to be very little, because you're going backwards. So to go forward, you have to let go of these lower habits, these lower things. These are lower habits designed to, like, blind you from the truth. And that's what's happening. You're not seeing the truth because you're too involved in your own habits. And you got to snap out of that. So my suggestion, and I'm only suggesting because this is what's worked for me, and this is what I do, is I just start knowing what season I'm in. Okay, this is a time where I need to pivot. I need to adjust. Sometimes I pivot and adjust multiple times in 1 month. It's not like, just a certain time and I'm done, one and done. No, it's like a multiple thing where I do it over and over, as many times as I need to then feel like, okay, I'm shifting in the right path. Sometimes if it's not that big of a deal, you could do it one time and then you're on the right path and you're heading in the right direction, and it's really easy. But usually that adjustment, that shift, is a difficult one, and it takes time. Really, we end up trading so much of our life for stuff. We end up trading so much of our life for TV watching and news watching and binge watching shows and, frivolous things, organizing the stuff, or, talking about the show or talking about other people. Like, we're trading our life for ridiculous things. And so, there's easy ways to simplify. Like, I don't even have a TV. We just chose not to for years. Some people have one in a family room. They like to watch family movies, which we still do. We watch on the computer. But when I say we don't have a TV, we don't have this big temptation sitting there that's beckoning us to sit down and steal our attention and then fill us and consume us. Even the littlest commercials that you might just see if the TV's on in the background is filtering into your subconscious mind. You're consuming that. And I just think personally, it's just a waste. Like, we don't need it. I don't want to pay $100 for DirecTV or however much it is. We don't do streaming, Netflix. We don't pay for those things. So these are some of the things you do when you simplify your life, is you just don't do it. You just let it go. And if you have it, you're like, well, I have to get my money's worth, so I better see what shows are on, because I'm paying X amount of dollars for Netflix. So now I need to get my money's worth. So let's find something to watch. So it's like you're tricking yourself, because you're like, well, I gotta get my money's worth because what I'm paying. Those are just things that we don't do. We choose to just live more simply. I don't do big manicures and pedicures every month that I have to keep up on, like things that you have to keep up on, subscriptions, beauty boxes, things that you're like required to keep up on. Now I do basic stuff like my hair every 6 months or whatever. But what I'm talking about is like those extra expenses that are not producing any fruit in your life, that are just stealing your time and causing you to think a certain way. That's really what TV is. It's causing you to think a certain way. Then your views change. You know, if you're consuming woke news, your views change. And then your life changes because you go in the direction of your thoughts and your words and your views. And then you see people differently. And then you're like, oh, I hate that person because they're this. Well, why? Because the news told you to hate that person or whatever. So, you know, you got to guard your mind a little bit and guard what's being planted into the soil in your life and get some clarity. You know, your news is what is God telling you to do? Now, I'm not saying be oblivious to everything that's going on, but the news is usually telling you after the fact of what had happened. And it's a perspective of what they think based on the information they gathered, which is usually incorrect anyways. The whole purpose of simplifying your life and living more intentional is so you have clarity. And so you walk with purpose and clarity. You're able to see and think and do what God wants you to do without all this fuzziness and distraction and all of this chaos around you and these things that you have to, you know, it's so hard to make a decision when you've got a huge circle of friends and everybody has a different idea and a different opinion about things. Then you can't really make something clear because all of this infiltration is coming into your thought system and fuzzying it up. It's the same thing with our bodies. Our body can't function properly if we are eating and consuming so many different toxins, because by the time your body gets through getting rid of, moving around, you know, pooping, what do I do? Where does this go? I don't know what this ingredient is, so I'm just going to put it here in a form of a lump. You know, it's like get down to the simplicity of life, the simple basics. These are simple things that can really, really help you cultivate a wonderful, beautiful, fabulous life. And so for us, like downsizing is something that we just recently did. We did this to simplify. We no longer have a vehicle right now. That was a choice that we decided to make to cut costs. We're cutting outside expenses and really obligatory things that need to be done, and learning to say, what can we do when we cut these outside things? Now that might be like, oh, crazy, how do you live? Well, obviously you do grocery delivery, there's Uber if you need to go, but it's just a season. And so if you have to be willing to do what it takes in a specific season. If you're not willing to downsize for a year and to really cut costs or to really pull things back to then propel you forward, then, you know, you don't really deserve the growth because you're not willing to do what it takes. Like, are you willing to sacrifice the food that you love eating that's giving you a body that you hate? I know that's really hard because there's things, I love ice cream and I love certain things, but are you willing to sacrifice that to then give yourself a reset and some clarity in positioning and like, okay, I got some control. I'm not this victim anymore. You know, so many people complain about how they feel. Well, what are you doing? Because your body is responding to what you're putting in it, how you're living, the thoughts you're thinking, where you're going, what you're doing, what music you're consuming, the frequency of the music you're consuming, the shows you're watching. Your body is responding to that. So if you don't like how you feel every day, look at what you're doing to feel that way. It's actually so simple. It's such a simple thing. And we've really overcomplicated it. And then we're sold on the idea that you need more and more supplements or more and more things to help you feel good when you don't. You actually need less. You don't need more, you need less in almost every area of your life. Less food, less talk, less gossip, less TV, less stuff, you know, less stimulation. You need the simplicity. You know, no wonder we can't. It's so hard for people to walk with God because they're so overly stimulated and they're so, you know, involved in nonsense things, ridiculous things, you know. And once you get out of the nonsense, man, you're like, why was I even doing that? Like, Halloween is complete BS, nonsense, a waste of time, a waste of money. It's a foolish, dark, evil season. You're giving your kids garbage. Then you're wondering why you enter the holidays sick and they're in the school season. Everybody's sick because you just pumped them full of a bunch of crap candy. You know, I mean, really, when you sit down and think about it, like when you really think about these things, you're like, what am I even doing? How much money did I just waste on? I used to waste like $2,000, Halloween costumes, Halloween candy, gotta go here. Why? To walk walk with the devil, that's basically what you're doing. You're saying, okay, this is okay, and I'm going to bring my kids around all this darkness at nighttime on whatever. We're going down a different, I'm very passionate about that that subject, but you get what I'm saying. Getting out of the nonsense. So once you wake up to, man, what am I doing on a daily basis that's causing me this? What am I spending? Where am I going? Who am I talking to? You know, I used to have close friends that I would talk to on a daily basis, and I felt like crap every day because I'm like, man, I just spent an hour talking to them, exposing my life to them or whatever, complaining, you know, because people dig. They want to know, oh, how's your marriage going? How are things going? Well, if you really want to talk about it, everybody can dig down deep, pull out some problems. Like, you could pull out problems. Oh, I don't like this. I don't like that. I don't like where I live. I don't like my spouse, my kids, my this, my body, my, you know, the economy, the money, the, you know. And so if you have a friend who all they want to do is pull out all that out of you, then they're like, okay, talk to you later. And all you did was talk a bunch of junk that got you nowhere. Just stop. Like, end the friendship, or say, you know what? I'm not doing this anymore. Like, you want to talk about good things or how we can make a difference or what we're doing good. And I actually got to the point where I was like, I don't even have time to talk because I'm too busy working out. I don't have time to talk because I'm reading. I don't have time to talk because I'm building my business. I'm working on my relationship with the Lord. I'm working on my relationship with my spouse and with my kids. I'm homeschooling. I don't have time to talk about what I'm failing at or struggling at because I'm actually working to do something about it. And so many people just want to talk about what you're struggling at. What's the problem? What is they're like, oh, there's a problem? Oh, tell me about it. What's going on? You know, and so you just have to get busy doing with less thinking about what you're doing or thinking about talking. Just take action. You don't need to read a book about working out. Just go walk. Go start working out. You don't need to read a book about not using credit cards. Just don't use them. Like, sometimes we just have to get busy doing and not preparing or thinking or talking about it or planning or prepping. Like, there's a time for preparation, but also there's a time for action. And I feel now is that time to get going. So you got to decide what's important, what's taking your attention, what's stealing your time, what are you trading your time for? What are you involved in? What are you engaging in that's not producing? What are these things? And you got to start taking action and do the opposite. You know, if you hate your house or you're like, oh, I hate where I live, try simplifying and decluttering first so you're not suffocating your house. You know, I've seen a lot of women on Instagram, their home is beautiful. Their windows are beautiful. It looks out to this greenery. And then they suffocate it with all of this cheap garbage and block the windows. They curtains and blinds, and which is, you know, obviously fine if you're enhancing the windows. And then they put a, you know, table and vases and all this stuff. And sometimes I want to tell them, like, hey, it looks way better without any of that. Just the drapery, you know, like outlining the window and elevating the look so you could see outside, but let the windows be the focal point. Let the outdoor and the nature be the focal point, not all the junk you just threw your money away at Home Goods or Target or whatever. You're ruining the look of your house. So you have to pull back. You'll actually probably love your space more and find areas. Oh, I never saw this angle. I never saw this wall. I never saw this space. Oh, it flows really nice. It looks great. You know, the windows look good. The doors, oh, like you're enhancing what you have. You're not totally changing all of it unless it's a fixer-upper gutter, you know. What I'm talking about is like, be satisfied, but make the proper changes that you need to make. And if you need to move, if the house is just costing you too much, it's taking up too much time, it's a money pit, you're always pouring money into it, you're always doing something, you can't get healthy because you're trading your life for your house, well then downsize for a while. Like, make the changes that need to be made, because eventually your time's going to run up, your life is going to run out, you're going to run out of time, and somebody's got gas going. If you are not taking care of your body's going to break down. You need to trade instead of trading your time for Home Goods runs and Chick-fil-A and Starbucks while you're out. Trade that time at the gym, a walk, some stretching, you know, something that's actually going to enhance your life and better your life and give you some longevity and make you feel good too. You know, just tap into the simple things, the simple rhythms of life. It's so much better than this rat race and hustle and bustle and these must-haves and this chasing and all that. Getting windy, gotta go.